Welcome to our weekly Q&A show where we answer submitted questions live on YouTube on Tuesdays at 2 p.m.
Well, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Tuesday afternoon Q&A show starring Aaron Cavagnolo, Dougie Fresh, and D. Zach. We do this every Tuesday just to answer random questions we get. If you want to submit a question, you have two options. One, you can just show up and submit a question in the comments. Or two, email Aaron at riversnotion.com.
Oh, really?
Yes. If you want to ask a question.
Well, yeah. Send me the note.
Don't email me.
That'd be great. Any questions I get sent to that now, Zach, I'm just going to forward you and say, watch the show on Tuesday. He'll give you, this guy will give you answers.
All right. Well, we'll do our best. So we'll do our best to answer questions. And so we do this again every Tuesday. If you like this show, please subscribe, hit the like button, and all those members out there, we appreciate you. So do you guys want to get started?
Yeah.
We got some cool questions here. The first one is this is just somebody who put a comment in the stream, which is a great place to put, or a question in the stream, a great place. So the Makita air blower is this thing I did a gear garage about, and Kelsey's an engineer, made an adapter that goes to the end of the Makita that has a little metal thing across it that pushes the valve down and blows air into it. It fits perfectly. And so let me share a window here. I'll show you how you can find it.
I would agree. That thing is very handy.
Let's see if I can open this up.
Doug, do you have a trailer now?
No, not yet.
No trailer. No trailer.
No.
All right. So here's how you find it. You would go, let's see. Let's Google Makita adapter rafting. Let's see what happens. And then this video comes up where I talk about the adapter.
Hi, welcome to the Gear Garage.
And then you just go down and Kelsey's email is right there. Do you see that? So it says how to contact Kelsey. It's pondomoto@gmail.com.
Nice.
So that's it.
Pondo,
Right,
Pondo, P-O-N-D-O.
That's what it says.
Pondo Moto.
And then while you're there, see how there's a subscribe button? Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Nice one.
We're going to get notifications. Don't forget the notifications too.
Don't forget, hit the bell, slam the bell.
Yeah.
Next had a Middle Fork trip go. Yeah, I just did a Middle Fork trip, got off 2 days ago. Went great. The river's big. It was 6 feet. We flew everything into Indian, boats and everything, launched from Indian. And after Big Creek was massive. So after Big Creek, it was really big. It really felt like 7.5 feet, maybe bigger below Big Creek, which is just a flush of water, basically. Went great. Thanks for asking. Any advice for getting a loose kayak to shore while you are R2 in a raft? I feel like we just kept running it over.
Well, yeah, I bet you did. I would say, I don't know what you guys think. I'd pull it up on the raft, get the water out of it, and just kind of put it behind me, and then paddle to shore if possible. Yeah.
Hopefully the kayaker had float bags. If they don't have float bags, you have a hard time pulling up on the raft.
That sucks. It's brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, even with float bags in, it's going to be hard, but without, it's
Yeah. So I think what Aaron says, like, pull it up on the boat, let it be upside down, kind of move up one side, move up the other, try to get as much water out as fast as you can, and then paddle to shore. If it's unsafe, I mean, if you can't pull it up on the boat, let it go. There's not much.
Let's be honest, it's just a piece of plastic. Just let it go, right?
Yeah. I mean, pull a swimmer in.
We had
That is
the river.
Where's the swimmer? Yeah.
A couple of days ago, and a kayaker got in an R1 so that she could get off the water, and they put the kayak between them. So they became an R2 with the kayak front to back between them.
Where was this?
It was crowded.
What river?
On the lower hood.
I heard it's been big.
Well, this was before it got big.
Okay.
About a week ago, I think.
Wait, were you kayaking?
I was kayaking it.
And another kayaker swam, is what you're saying.
Yep.
And the R2, how'd you guys get the kayak to shore?
She swam and then decided not to keep kayaking. So it was a conscious, we were going to load it on there. So it wasn't just a temporary recovery.
How did you get the kayak to shore?
We pushed it with our kayaks.
Okay. So now you didn't push it with the raft?
No.
Okay. Because that probably wouldn't work.
No.
All right, so I'm going to add here's our questions for the day. The first one's about ugly duckies. What do you think about the 2-person ugly ducky? I think it's cool. Do you guys know what that is? You guys know what an ugly ducky is?
What's the difference? Is it ugly ducky different from an inflatable kayak?
Aaron, can you Google it and throw it up?
Can I Google?
Sorry, I'm just like my computer's working weird. An ugly ducky is a ducky that's Matt Cronin designed. That's really blunt on the bow and the stern and has tons of rocker. And
I'm not getting ugly ducky. Ugly ducky. Is it one word too? I'm just getting ugly duckling. Here we go. Hold on.
That's probably what it's called. Just Cronin inflatable.
Yeah, I'm Cronin.
So he has a 1-person boat, which I think is pretty revolutionary. I think his 1-person boat kind of changed inflatable kayaking quite a bit because they're incredibly forgiving. You know, if you jump in an inflatable kayak with a pointy nose, you know they're flippy. You guys have seen tons of people.
Yeah, his website, Cronin's website's terrible. You can't even see the photos properly on it. It's like cutting off the photo. It's really weird. Yeah.
Do I have to make Dougie in charge of this?
No, it's not me. It's his website. Let me just.
It seems like it's you.
I'm just gonna pull up a video instead.
Well, anyway, so his duckies are just a dramatic difference from most designs, and they're really forgiving. I think they're great boats, and it actually, excuse me, it makes boating accessible for way more people. You know, way more people have the ability to run more difficult rivers because they're not tippy.
Is it side by side?
The 2-person? No, he makes an R2 boat that looks like his ducky. I forget what it's called. I think it's actually called the boat that has no name, but it's a 1-person ducky. It's just really forgiving.
But the ugly ducky is it?
All right, here we go. This is it right here.
Yeah, that's a video. That's what it looks like. Yeah, see all that rocker? Yeah, see what it looks like? They're big
and short.
They're. I mean,
is it an inflatable kayak or is it a ducky or an inflatable kayak?
Ducky's the same thing. Ducky is the same.
No, sorry. Is it an R2 boat or is it an inflatable kayak?
Hey, Aaron, look at that Gear Garage video. Where that's you in. Do you see what I'm talking about?
I know. Yes. Is that the same one? This one looks way bigger than that one. It's the same one.
No, that's the same one. Yeah. We used it. You and I used it. Did you use it? Or
I used it. You know, we both used them. I used it, but this one looks wider for some reason. That one just maybe this guy's just way small. Is this guy like really small or something like he's just tiny?
Maybe he's a tiny person. That's probably it. Because anyway, it's a sweet boat. They make great boats. Great design, revolutionary. I think it's really good it's not the best boat for everybody, but it's a great boat. And I think the downsides are they're not very sporty. You're not going to like peel out of eddies brilliantly. You know, you're not going to make massive moves across the river, but it's going to be forgiving. It's going to be nice.
Yeah, see that one looks narrower there.
Zach, I've heard you talk about how you don't like art or 2-person IKs. As far as
because they're not safe.
So is this different because it's shorter?
That's the 1-person. Yeah, the 1-person. So let's go back to the question here. What do you think of the 2? I've never seen the 2-person ugly ducky. I've never seen it.
Let me go see if I can find the 2-person ugly ducky.
Yeah, good luck. I think putting 2 people in a ducky is a bad idea. You know, if it's like me and you, we'd probably strangle each other. But if it's like me and Kevin, me and Kevin,
so you're saying
it depends on the person.
Just because, if you're not that familiar, you'll do different things. There's nobody steering.
I don't think it's familiar. I think that different people see the river differently. And so if it's 2 people who like boat differently, they're going to disagree and have problems and second guess each other and overwhelm each other and be a problem. If it's 2 people who see the river the same, it'll probably be super successful. Or one person who's in charge and one person who just sits there and like does what they say.
And R2ing, you can turn on a dime the last minute, no problem, versus.
I think R2ing's the same. It's just like with R2ing, you got to put one person in charge. Like I R2'd, we had this like Russian catamaran a long time ago, and I R2'd with Faya, and we were a disaster. But then Kevy jumped in, and we had to even talk.
Yeah.
So it's just like some people you see the river with, and some people you don't.
Yeah.
So R2ing's the same thing. But like if I'm just like Dougie, if you and I go, and I'm like Dougie, you're just gonna shut up and let's do what I say. It's gonna go fine. But if I'm like, hey Dougie, let's just paddle at will and see what happens. we might have some problems.
Well, but also I think the 2-person IK, there's just so much slower to turn. So if you get in a situation where you want to be somewhere else, you're almost too late. Versus an R2, you can spin and turn and back paddle and get out of there.
Let's be honest, like you're way safer R2 in a raft than taking a 2-person inflatable kayak. I mean, we can. I think we can agree upon that.
Yeah.
The question I have, Zach, do you not use any 2-person inflatable kayaks on your trips?
We only own one, and we only bring it on request.
So what do you do when you have kids? When they want to put kids in one, do you not put the kids in them anymore with the parents?
Yeah, we say no.
Okay.
Yeah, like if they're not old enough to go by themselves, they can't go. So we don't have any on the Rogue, and here I'm in Salmon right now. I have one here that goes out like once a season, maybe. Because we just analyzed where all of our accidents were. They were double duckies. Like the most dangerous thing we were doing was double duckies. And like people wanted to get them that were like husband and wife, and we call them divorce boats.
Oh, totally.
Because they would disagree and get in problems, and so
it's hilarious.
For safety, it's like let's just stop doing this. If it's a parent and a kid, they're not the safest thing. Okay, so let's go with: would you buy one or stay away because of durability? So I'm just gonna keep this going. So the first thing, the 2-person duck, I'm sure it's cool. If you want a 2-person duck, first of all, I don't recommend 2-person duckies, but a 2-person ducky, you might as well get an ugly ducky. Those are cool boats. Would you buy one or stay away from because of durability? They're made, they're PVC, I think. I'm pretty sure they're PVC. They're made overseas. They're as durable as all the PVC boats. I mean, they're more durable.
Let's read. There's a key line in this. I'm looking for something super stable to paddle with my anxious wife. Bad idea. Divorce. Zach already mentioned the divorce boat. Yeah, you gotta read that. That's a key part, bro. No, do not do that. That's bad.
Hold on.
If you want her to
do this one sense at a time.
Okay.
Let's go one sense at a time. So durability, it's probably, I don't want to badmouth the durability of this boat. It's as good as any other PVC boat that's not very durable. I'm looking, if you wouldn't, what do you think I should get instead? If you want a double ducky, I would get a raft. Honestly, I don't know. I can't think of a double ducky I would get for 2 people. I just get an R2 boat. I'm looking for some super stable paddle that can just wipe down Class 2 rivers and occasionally use a gearboat on trips. I'd get a raft.
Yeah, the R2 is way better. And then if it doesn't work to
Mark
R2
River
with
is
her,
a fat cat.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work to R2 with her, if you have a raft, at least maybe put a little frame on and let her hang out in the front. And you take turns rowing or something like that, and that's safer than. Man, yeah. So
Mark Rivers has the advice. I have the same advice here. Get a fat cat or a 10-foot to 12-foot raft on R2. I think that's super smart. Same thing. Got 10-foot and super stable. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Class 2, Class 3. Yeah. This is great.
But I'm gonna go back to that. The R2ing with your partner has some downfalls, and make sure, if you get a 10-foot, all you can do is R2 with it. You're not going to be able to put a little frame on and row her down, most likely. And so
you can row. They make frames for 10 foots.
Yeah, but are you going to have her sit up front in the 10-footer while you row it? Is that going to work?
I don't know. Depends on the person. I don't know.
10's pretty sure I go longer. Right?
This isn't relationship advice.
But it is relationship advice because it is the 12-footer seems better. You have more options with that. That's all I'm saying. You have to know your partner for sure, but yeah.
Here's a good comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here, next thing. What boat to buy? I'm overdue for an upgrade. I'm currently running a 14-foot PVC boat, Odyssey. I need a boat that can handle everything, but I have reservations about going much bigger than 14. I've never done the Madison or Gallatin. Have you guys? Plan on running the Selway every spring. Oh, cool. Good for you. That's probably fun. Also plan on running the Grand Canyon and middle fork of the Salmon when able to. Essentially, I need a jack of all trades. I don't know. What would you guys suggest?
I'm going to say a big tube 14 is great. It has a little less space inside it, but it gives you a little more stability in big water if you're running stuff like Grand Canyon, being on the Selway. And if you're not going to use it as a paddle boat ever, I would consider a 15-footer for sure. because, or even minimally as a paddle if you're mostly running. The 15 is a nice. I actually think 15s are a nice size. I'm a big fan of that 15. Is you can still run it on a paddle boat on occasion, but it just gives you a little more space to spread out. It's a little more stable. I mean, the rivers you're talking about running, I don't know as much about the Madison and the Gallatin. I think it's pretty high in the spring, isn't it? It's pretty high volume. Yeah, I just want those bigger tubes. I think that's more what I would look at, is how big your tubes are. So you're more stable.
Big tube 14. That wing boat I designed is a big tube 14.6.
Yeah, that's a nice size boat.
You ran that as a gear boat. Here's
I ran that. Oh yeah. That
high side XTs have 21. The big tube wing I think has 23s.
Yeah. So only problem with the bigger tubes is you have less space inside to store gear. So if you're like wanting to run a lot of gear, that's a little problem. But you have more flotation in it.
I ran down the gear boats on the Illinois all spring.
I know, Zach, but Zach, private boaters bring a lot more stuff than you.
If you bring it, then commercial guests.
Have you seen that?
I don't know.
Probably.
Why do you think they need those huge gear things, those gear nets?
The gear nets. The other downside of the big tubes is it's harder to get in the boat. It's more tube to climb up over.
That's true. Climbing down to the boat, that is a good point. But
we were running them on the Illinois this spring, and we had a couple of things where I was like, man, if those tubes were smaller, we might have wrapped or flipped.
Oh, yeah.
So the big tubes help keep you it's harder to wrap and flip when you have big tubes.
I still think a 15 is great. Unless you're running it technical low water paddle boating a lot, then the 15 is a little annoying because it's a little hard to turn and steer from the back. But if you're doing mostly big water, like long,
I don't think this person's paddleboarding. I think this is straight.
No, I think so too, but they don't mention it. But if they are, and then for other listeners, and if they're rowing it though, I think a 15 is ideal. Like that's just me.
What do you think, Dougie?
Yeah, 2 boats maybe.
That's my answer. Get a 13 and a 16.
13 and then 13 and 16. For the Grand Canyon, a 16 would be nice.
A 14.6 in the Grand Canyon, Aaron? Come on.
Oh man, people think smaller than that.
They do, but is it good?
And let's talk. River's dropping, man. It's not as high as it used to be, and it's not going to be getting higher.
Wait, hold on. Sellway every spring pre-permit. 14.6 the high water.
That's why I'd like the bigger tubes in the 15. I think the 15 is a little better.
My answer is the 16. And especially for low water middle fork, when the middle fork's low and you want to sit high. I see people show up at low water middle fork with their 13s all the time, and they're just so deep in the water, and they're on the struggle bus. So the bigger your boat is, the higher you sit in the water, and so you go over rocks better. So, middle fork with salmon, the 16. We just did middle fork trip at 6 feet. I'd much rather have a 16 than a 14 at high water. In a low water, I'd rather have a bigger boat.
See, I think I'd rather have a 14 or 15 than the Grand Canyon. Just pay one of those outfitters, so I don't have to deal with all the shuttle and stuff, and just rent a boat from them.
So get a 14.6, but on the Grand Canyon, rent your boat.
Yeah, rent it. Yeah. Or even the 15. Even the 15 still. Once again, I think a 15 is a really nice size boat that gets,
If you're gonna buy one boat, I would go 16. It's not that much bigger, Aaron. 15, 16.
It is but we'll run 15s.
Why do you want a 15?
We run 15s on Cherry. You can get that down technical water still.
Yeah, but he's not running Cherry Creek.
I know he's not, but he's running the Sellway. He could be running the Sellway at lower water.
What's the event? Okay, for low water, but for low water, bigger is better too.
Not always.
Because you float higher.
Well, if you're talking about the middle fork, which is really shallow, but when you're trying to go between rocks, like on the Tuolumne, is it easier to row a 16-foot boat or a 14-foot boat?
Depends how much gear I have. Same amount of gear, 16.
If it's an empty boat.
If it's empty, probably a 14 because it's smaller.
Yeah, 14 is way easier.
But if you're going to put the same amount of gear in a 14 to 16, I'm going to choose a 16 so it sits higher.
Yeah, but we even on some commercial trips back in the day with Arda, we had a 15 for a while that we ran as a gear boat sometimes, and it was really nice.
Oh, it was nice, but come on. You just can't take any gear.
Ben loved that thing.
It wasn't the same amount of gear as the 6. The 16's got all the gear, and then you were rowing the 15 empty. I know you, Aaron.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But going back, now I'm arguing the other side of it. It depends on how you pack too. If you like to bring the kitchen sink and bring all this stuff, Zach's right, you want a bigger boat.
Get the big boat.
If you like to go lighter and you don't want to have that much stuff, and if you're not, you want to be able to roll your boat and put in the back of your vehicle, the 14, and you want to be able to run as a paddle boat, a 15 is nice. But you should comment here. But that being said, you should be able to run. You should honestly the Sellway, the Middle Fork, and the Grand Canyon. You can run 18s on all those rivers.
That's what I'm saying. Like I would get 18 even. I think 16 is a compromise between 14 and 18. Like we run those boats behind me are all 18s. Like we only run 18-foot gear boats in the Middle Fork at every flow. 18s are great on the Grand Canyon. You guys on the Subway run 18s too, right?
And we run them down to stupid levels where you shouldn't, but you can still get them down. And it's
But
like
18,
you said,
right?
and one of the nice things is about the 18s. You talk about those shallow gravel cobble bars. Yep. It is nice. It is nicer going there because they spread the weight out more. But
the problem isn't getting through narrow chutes typically. It's going over shallows and entrances of rapids. That's where people get hung up, is in the shallows.
Yeah.
Do you see? Okay, hold on. So he says prime. Do you see the comment? He says primarily a gearboat. Yeah, see, I was right. And then needs to be able to roll and put on a bush plane. Yeah, so just get a high side. The Typolon. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many good. This is the struggle. If you're going to have one raft, you already have your 14. So you keep your 14 around. Don't get rid of it.
I think he wants to get rid of it. I get the impression he wants to.
Yeah, if it is a PVC boat, you want to sell it while it's still got some value left before it just disintegrates. That's true. So, then there's a question of like, you have all the gear for your 14. You know, like you have the boxes, and you want to keep all that, just sell the raft. Then a 15, a lot of times they'll still.
Yeah, but his new 14, it's not. He's has to get all new stuff. It's not going to fit the new boat. It's going to be a mess.
It depends.
All right, let's move on. Oh, there's more. Okay, sorry. I've narrowed down to a Wing Williamson, Wing Surge, or an airboat of comparable size. So he's looking at the 14.6, and the 14.6 is a Williamson, the Surge is a 16, or an airboat of comparable. And so if you're flying it in, air is a good choice too.
So he's looking at the 14 and the 16, and he's trying to decide, and that's why we should come to the middle, to the 15.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, right? I mean, it's right between the 15. Yeah.
But you like the 14.6 is good because it's almost 15. It's big tube, so it's both.
Do they have a 15-foot boat? Does Wing have one?
They make the 14.6.
That's the biggest
and the
one.
16.
Yeah.
There's no exact 15. It's 14. It's a big 14.6, so it's like a 15.
Justin, I can't say like what type of style. I would rather have the 14.6 because it's a little smaller, like easier to throw in the bush plane. It's just like whatever, man. But I'm not going to carry a bunch of stuff, and I don't want to carry a bunch of other people's stuff. I'm going to go pretty light, keep my life easy. Don't need to break my back. You know, certain put-ins and takeouts are junkier, like, and they're longer carry, and so it's nice having that smaller boat. So I probably go with the 14.6, but.
And I'd go with the 16. Dougie, what would you go with?
And then everyone will be impressed when you're rowing the Grand Canyon.
Wait, I was asking Dougie.
I think I agree with Aaron as far as the gear, seeing what the gear might fit, but I would say 16.
Okay. His hesitations. Go ahead.
I remember on the Canyon, you know, I haven't done that many times, but 18 foot and 16, and then I remember some people having smaller boats out there, and the 16 seemed like a pretty small boat.
Yeah, and I've seen people row 12-footers out there too.
Yeah.
It looks really fun. I mean,
Mark Rivers has done it a few times.
It looks super exciting. Yeah, I mean, it looks fun. I mean, and the waves aren't as big as they used to be, so you want a smaller boat to make the waves seem bigger. So
yeah,
there you go.
But I think the solution is get the boat you need for everything else. When you do the canyon, just rent.
Yes.
That's
easy to rent.
It's so nice down there, and you don't have to deal with it and getting all the stuff down there, and yeah. And then like half the time you get invited on a trip, the people you're going with want to do the easy private anyways, so you can't really easily bring your own boat.
How is that on the Middle Fork of the Salmon? Can you do the similar operation rental?
You can rent. Yeah, there's people that rent. It's not quite as seamless as on the Grand Canyon, but there's people that rent. Black Guitar Boating's one of them. They do a great job, and they have 5.16s, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But so his hesitation is a big boat is that many rivers get bony. And I'm going to make the claim that you want a big boat for that. Again, because you sit higher.
It depends on the type of bony. If you're trying to go over really shallow, or there's the width between the rocks is the problem.
There's bony and there's tight. And my guess is bony is shallow, so he wants a bigger boat. Important is you need to roll it and put in bush planes and mule for packing. I would say if you're going to go on mules for packing, getting the air is the way to go because you can remove the floor. And sometimes a mule can't carry an entire boat, but if you can remove the floor, you can have like a light boat and then the floor separately, and it might pack better on the mules.
Well, and the same is true with the Sotars. Like I do that with the Sotar, I take the floor out.
But you're not going to put Sotars don't roll well. You're not going to put a Sotar on a mule.
Yeah.
You're not gonna put I wouldn't put a wing on a mule either. You can remove the floor of the wing
once
too.
Once you remove, yeah, but the difference is the Sotar is way easier to restring than those other two. The wing or the.
But it's not fun. But even when you
it's fast. It's fast. It only takes a few minutes in the Sotar. It doesn't take that long. You just restring.
I've never done it, so I don't know. But
Yeah,
I don't think you want to pack a Sotar or a wing on a mule because they have those sharp corners and they pack a little bit unwieldy. Like if I'm going to pack it on a mule, I'm going to get a Hypalon high side or an NRS or the Air. So they just roll nicely. You have to worry about the corners.
Well, the problem is you got to balance the weight. So don't you just like roll each side and make it a little thing that goes over the top? Is that what they do?
I haven't done it in a while. I can't remember what we did. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we took the floor. I don't know what we did. I've only packed mules once, so I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Do you still recommend? Wait, I think this is a different question.
Ultimately, no, it's the same one. It's the same.
Oh, got it.
Ultimately,
still recommend a 16-foot boat like the Wing Surge or with something like the Williamson better because the Williamson Canyon trip semi-comfortably. I mean, it depends on your definition of semi-comfortably. But I would say no. Get the Surge.
Oh, come on. Those guys at Davis, like DJ used to do 14 foot all the time down there.
Yeah, comfortably, semi-comfortably is the key word. I don't know. What does semi-comfortably mean? Does that mean Paco pad and a tent and like 2 dry bags and like Dutch ovens and good food? If that's semi-comfortably, 16. If semi-comfortably is like thermarest and small stove and down, I don't know.
Are you talking about one boat trip or a multiple boat trip too? And how many people are you carrying in your boat? It depends how many people you're carrying. If you're the only one in your boat, you can live really comfortably on the 14.
I'm on the train. He should get a 16. But if you want to put on a mule, get an Air. That's my answer.
An Air.
Oof. An Air. Don't
restring. And you want to take the floor out and then restring that floor? That sounds like a horrible idea.
All right, whatever. Dougie, you have final thoughts? We'll move on.
What's the Williamson? Is that a new brand or is that?
It's the Wing 14.6 we've been talking about.
14.6. Williamson.
Crook says smaller tubes, smaller rivers, even 12-foot boat. I can get my 16-foot boat down the White Salmon low flow. Aaron, can you get an 18-foot boat down the White Salmon low flow?
I don't know. It depends how wide it is. You
probably.
What's the section with that big hole in it? You could probably run that big hole in the 18.
Yeah. The lower.
Yeah, in the lower, yeah.
Depends on what you call low flow too. Is low flow 2 feet or like 1.5?
Running the waterfall would be interesting in 18 too. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, because the water's only 11 feet. You just like drop over.
Exactly, Mark.
It depends on everybody has a definition of very comfortable.
No, but Mark's right about it is like, but he says with other people helping to pack most of the group gear. Yeah, you may not be pulling your weight depending on the trip. How much?
If you have the 14.6 and you're just carrying like a small food box and your own beer cooler and your own bags and living comfortably, whatever. But if you want to like contribute, you're going to have some stuff.
But a lot of people want those big boats and they want all the weight in it anyways. Oh,
look
cool.
at that here. That's cool.
Yeah,
thanks for watching, Brett. Yeah, just buy the raft. And start with like, I mean, if money's a problem, start with like an RMR, like one of those PVC boats that are super affordable, like the one that the Fat Cat that Mark talked about. And then after like 6 years, definitely sell it because that's when they start breaking down. Like it's not going to break down in 6 years, but they start the process and then upgrade in like 6 years.
And you can also buy a used raft. Like keep an eye on those too. Like they come around, not all the time, but if you pay attention, like if you want it for this summer, it'd probably be hard. Well, it might be hard anyways, just supply issues, but keep an eye out for those.
Yeah, this is our last question, gentlemen. How close is staircase on the Payette to the top section of Middle Fork Salmon high water 6 feet? We have mediocre weekend boaters launching 16s and concern for their safety. Thanks for any advice.
Launching on the 16th, yeah.
Did we do, Zach, I mean, Dougie, did we do that section together? Was that the staircase section we did together way back when we went to Idaho? Is that the section was that the section with the portage, the big portage where we had to come?
No, that's the canyon. That's the class 4 section.
Oh.
Is the staircase above it?
Below it. You go when you do staircase, you meet You basically meet at the North Fork and take out on River right below North Fork pad. So it's the lowest section of the pad.
Did we do that one as well, Doug?
I don't think so. I think we just did the North Fork.
We didn't
I
do
mean,
the
South
North Fork.
Fork.
You did it was
South
called the
Fork's
Canyon Run of the South Fork, yeah.
Yeah.
With a hot spring and you're
Yeah.
basically away from the road. I've kayaked the staircase section once. It's class 3, I think. Something like that. It's class 3.
I think I've actually kayaked it once too, and I don't remember being that challenging.
They're not comparable. The middle fork of the salmon at high water at 6 feet is much more difficult and dangerous and remote.
Yeah. It seems like doesn't the middle fork have a lot more grading in it than that stretch does? The middle fork of the salmon?
I don't know.
It
Depends on the flow that they run staircase. So they're running staircase to flood. Maybe that's, if it's just they do staircase when it's summer and the weekends, it's probably not.
I'm just gonna say, when you say we have mediocre weekend boaters, like, ooh, that scares me a little with the high water on the middle fork. Can they fly in and avoid that upper stretch?
Yeah, fly into Indian. Most people don't want to because they don't want to pay the money, and a lot of people don't have breakdown frames. Like weekend boaters are typically cat boaters, I'm guessing, and they don't have like the right frame.
That's all. Is it easy to put oars on the planes?
Yeah, they'll fit through the door, but frames won't fit unless they break down.
Now, cat boating is a whole different ball game up there. That seems way less sketchy than rafting. If you're all running cats, I feel like you've got a little not. But once again, we kind of talked about that the other week on the show, didn't we? About like working as a team. We had a really long conversation about that. I think like you got to be on your game at 6 feet. You got to like know how to run together, run tight, catch eddies together, maintain your boat spacing. You can't just be worrying about your line. You got to be worrying about your buddies, paying attention. If something goes wrong, you got to be able to help them while running the raft as well.
That reminds me, Aaron, so you asked me in that last show we did, what's harder, high water, middle fork, or Illinois? And I said Illinois, and I thought about that a lot when I was in the middle fork last week at high water. It's definitely, the middle fork is easier for sure, but it's true. Like it's definitely a little more nerve wracking. Like it just goes. So, catching eddies is really hard. That's probably the hardest part. Getting everybody into an eddy, but it's really hard to maintain spacing. And you're in there and you're like, man, if somebody swims, it's going to be a project. And if you don't solve that problem, deadly. And so there's certainly like, it's a whole different feel. It's hard to compare high water middle fork to Illinois, actually. Like I thought it was easy when we talked, but when I was on the river, I was thinking about that question you asked me a lot, and they're just different.
Yeah, no, and I could see that upper stretch in particular. Like you're talking about for the lower stretches and it being big and being pushy, but then you go that upper 20 miles. Whew,
yeah,
man, things can get away from you. So
what, Mark? I don't know what to say about this one.
Yeah, and I would say when in doubt,
eddy out.
Yeah, don't go. Yeah, what's the other saying? Wimp to wimp another day. Like if you're not sure, high water, 6 feet. You guys don't know it well. And then you can take the teeth out a little bit by avoiding that top 20 miles and flying in.
You can, but it's still, like I said, we did that. That's exactly what we did. But man, it doesn't just take individual boating skills too. It takes everybody working together. We watched groups that were spread out all over the place, right? Just up and down the canyon. We're just not looking out for each other. And if they had a swimmer, I don't know how they would get rescued. And we watched a private boater go into the bushes. We were having lunch. I don't know what they were doing. They ended up in the bushes, like pulling the boat through the bushes. And so I think it gets weird out there quick. It's middle fork at 6 feet is something I take pretty seriously.
Yeah, totally.
Which, hey, Dougie, I got to tell you about this thing that Aaron hates. It's this thing. Do I have my cards close by? No.
Well, we talked. Like Mark Rivers has a comment we've ignored.
What?
How much stuff he brought on in his 14?
2 5-gallon air couch and 2 people's personal gear with room to spare. Yeah, but
he brought the air couch.
Is your part of the food in that 150 quart cooler? Like, is it or did somebody have to bring more food on your behalf? And Mark, I also know you had a little rum in there, so you forgot to mention the rum. I know you don't just drink a little bit of rum.
How big is the 150 quart cooler?
Pretty big.
Okay.
Yeah, can you
Is
see
that
that
about the size of the ones we used to run on the Tuolumne?
That's a 150, I think. That one right there.
Right. Huh?
Yeah, it's not the full size 18.
So we're
cooler,
looking at
but
the end of it. Yeah. No. That's a pretty big cooler.
It's the size that would fit in a 14.
Yeah, 2.5 gallons of water. That's a lot of water. I mean, that's some weight he's taking right there. And then 2 persons personal gear and an aircraft couch, for goodness sakes. I mean,
yeah, he had more than that. He had probably like a little day bag, and he probably had, his own water bottle. And what about Mark? Did you have pulleys and prussics and carabiners? Did you bring safety gear? What about throw bag? Do you have a throw bag? Do you have bow lines? I bet you have bow lines. Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, you're particularly if you're running that by yourself, that'd be kind of fun to do can you do a Grand Canyon trip and just have 16 people all rowing their own raft? That would be hysterical.
Yeah, I think people do it all the time.
That would be so funny.
People who have cats, of course.
Oh, 16 cataracts in a group. Oh man, someday. That's my dream.
Oh, here we go. Another comment. It's 1 block of ice cocktails, 1 scepter with margarita. That was grog. Yeah, exactly. He didn't carry his share. He carried his share in booze, but not in food. So somebody had to what's the word I'm looking for? Supplement or like what is that?
Yeah, but they did the rental package.
What's that word? When the government gives money to people to keep farming.
Subsidized.
Yeah, he was subsidized by the others.
Oh, totally. But he also brought 2 Paco pads and a tent and 2 chairs.
Pin kit, 2 chairs. Oh, here we go.
I bet they were.
Yeah, I'm sure they were. I'm just saying, like, it works when there's somebody else subsidizing you. But if everybody has 14s, you gotta keep. You probably can't bring so much rum.
Yeah, but I think the thing is, Zach, on those trips, so it's like usually people are going to do like they did on his trip, is they're going to do the outfitted trip, and if someone wants to bring an extra raft along, they can. And then that sounds awesome. That sounds super.
He had 1 scepter with margarita. What's a scepter? I think a scepter is like a big water jug. I think he had a big, which would make sense. Okay, so hold on. I got a couple. I would say, yeah. I mean, having Mark Rivers come on PT, come on DP,
it's better than a kayak, right?
On any trip, subsidizes the trip with happiness and love and passion. You probably brought the Jimmy Buffett for everybody. Like, just having you there subsidizes the group spiritually. But food-wise,
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, when Mark Rivers is around, Jimmy Buffett's playing.
Nice.
But Mark, in terms of eating, I think they subsidize you.
But it's better than
I may have to go here.
Why?
Because Zach's breaking up the cards.
It's better than a kayak as far as gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At 14.
He had a 5-gallon water jug. That's a scepter. A 5-gallon water jug of margaritas. So you definitely, Mark, subsidize the group in terms of margaritas. Field food, I could have running. Yeah, he had room for the food. Mark, I'll be your wingman any day, Mark. So before we go, Doug, I got to tell you about this thing I had to do with Aaron, where this project I'm working on, which is like Aaron hates it, but he secretly loves it.
No, I don't love it. Oh,
we're trying to like classify boaters as a playing card, where like a 2 to a 10 is just an individual boater. And a 10 is a class 5 boater, a 9 is like a class 4 plus boater, and a 2 is like basically can do flat water. But then if they're a team boater or like a leader, they can be a face card like a jack, king, queen, king, ace. And Aaron, I thought about this a lot in the last trip. I have a new breakthrough. First of all, let's go back. We were talking about somebody earlier. So like the weekend warrior guys, where do you think they would be, Aaron? The weekend, the guys you mentioned earlier?
I don't know, 7s.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They're probably 7s.
Why? And why not face cards for them?
Because they probably don't, like, they're probably not team boating. They're probably not leaving Eddie's the team, looking upstream, looking out for each other. They're just like individual boating. They're boating. They can get put down rapids, or they're not speeding up on a rapid if they need to, or slowing down, or like passing signals back and just doing all the team boating things. But I thought about this, Aaron, a little bit more on this last trip. I'm gonna tell you what I think now in the face cards. A queen is just a good trip leader that runs a good trip, that can is a good boater. A king or an ace makes other people better, and a jack kind of makes people worse. Like, have you ever been on a trip where there's a trip leader who explains things, but their explanation is so bad that it makes it worse?
So a jack's worse than a 10?
Well, at least they're trying. But a 10 doesn't help at all. But a jack sometimes is learning how to be a group organizer, learning how to be a team member. But sometimes they're so new to it, they're kind of making mistakes. Where a queen is just solid. You're good for a queen. A king can make a 9, a 10, a 9, a jack. A king would be hey, here's what I need you to do. And if you follow me, I'm going to demonstrate this, and I'm going to give you feedback as we go down.
So all of a sudden a 9 becomes a jack. Do they go back to being a 9 when they're not with the king?
Something
or is
like
it
that,
once,
yeah.
Is it once they
well, let's just say, let me
there?
rephrase that. A 9, let's say it's a run you want to have all face cards on. Well, if you have a king can look out for a 9.
From what you're saying is I don't want any jacks on my run. From what you're saying, jacks should stay at home. I'd rather have a 10 because I can turn a 10 into something better.
But maybe, yeah. But the king can make the jack better too. But the jack, so if it's just a jack, if it's a jack and 3 7s, that might be trouble. But if it's 2 kings, a queen, a jack, and 2 9s, the kings can help the 9s. Hey, stay on my tail. Do what I do, and they exaggerate what to do, and they do a really good job of demonstrating how to do things. So not only are the kings are not only boating within spacing, they're also providing really good examples and feedback to those people so they can get better. So a king or an ace brings everybody's level up on the.
What's the difference between a king and an ace then?
A king is good at it. An ace is. God, when you know the feeling when you have an ace on the trip, you're just oh man, Steve Welch. Steve's an ace. But you're just man, having Steve there is just so nice.
Yeah, no, when
you're on a trip and you're oh man, these 2 people I've worked with a bunch, they're solid. We boat well together. The 3 of us, we're a couple kings and a queen. We can take care of a couple 9s.
Does an ace have to be a class 5 boater?
No. Oh, the thing is
So a 10 can do a trip that
an ace can't.
An ace can't.
Potentially, yeah.
But if a 10 moves to a queen, then they can't do it anymore.
It depends. I think the one thing is this, to make this work, the card system is river and craft dependent. So on Cherry Creek, you cannot be an ace unless you have the skills. Middle Fork Salmon, you're an ace on that river. You're not an ace always. So when I look at the people, I look at the team, we're gonna go do this particular river. I'm king, jack,
maybe
7 7 5.
Maybe you need 2. Maybe you need king 10. Dougie is an ace 10, class 5, and really good leading people. Zach, he's a jack 4. Screws everything up and can barely drive the boat.
That's the classification of class 5 rivers. There's a movement to have a couple of different numbers describing the rivers rather than one number.
It's never going to happen. Cards are kind of 0 -1 plus system, but 0 is a 10. Yeah, maybe. I'm still working it out. But I thought about it a lot on this trip because, we had varying levels of boaters, right? And so, Aaron, if you're on high water Middle Fork, you're probably gonna be lead boat, right, Aaron?
I don't know. Depends on.
You'd probably be lead boat. Let's just say you're high water Selway, whatever. You know the run the best. You're Aaron Cavignolo, everybody. You're gonna be lead boat. You're usually lead boat, so it's just you're lead boat, right? So let's say you have a number 2 who's almost as good as you, and then you also have somebody who's still doesn't know the lines, still learning some of the rowing skills. Who do you put right behind you? The person you want to show a good example to, Or do you want that number 2 to rescue you?
Oh, it's high water number 2. If it's low water and I'm mostly worried about getting stuck or wrapping, it doesn't matter as much. I might put the person learning behind me. It depends on the other person, how good they are at following too. But in general, I'd say third. Yeah, particularly with higher volume when I'm worried about long swims.
You said high water, you'd put the less experienced person right behind you?
No, third.
Third, okay.
What if you're completely comfortable with your personal safety? Would you still put the number 2 right behind you? Like if you weren't worried at all, I know you want the number 2 behind you in case you swim for safety.
No, that's one reason, but there's another reason. No, but here's a second reason. The second reason I want the number 2 maybe. Let's say I get stuck, get eddied out, or something like that. All of a sudden, the person doesn't know where they're going there first, and you're just like, So I worry about that as well too. It's just like I want to have like a couple will follow, and then have a little bit more time. So if something happens, and we have to be like, hey, out or do something, they can see the boat in front responding. Like I may give if I'm first, Doug, you second, you're third, Zach, and you're the guy we're trying to get down the river. If I give Doug a look or something like that, and Doug starts moving across, hey, I better follow Doug. Versus.
Okay, let me ask you this in a new question. What if number 2 is in a paddle boat?
Right, that really depends on the river. But high volume, low volume, technical.
High volume.
Like I'll say, like on the Tuolumne, sometimes we run the paddle boats first, sometimes we run them last. Sometimes we run them in the middle. In general, high volume, I would not put paddle boats towards the front. I'd put it towards the back.
So then would you put the like not second best boater second then in that case?
Yeah. But the other goer can't be that bad because it's high water. Like if they're that bad, the trip should be canceled.
That's a good point. So Dougie, what I'm trying to do, it's interesting things to think about. What I'm trying to do that Aaron hates this is like look at a group of cards and say, would you run this particular river with this group of boaters? So like, I'm gonna ask you this, Aaron, again. Would you run a 6-foot middle fork with those boaters?
No.
Why not?
The 8.
But what if the king can take care of the 8? And like move the 8 up to like a 10 because he's like giving good feedback. Him or her is giving good feedback.
Okay, so then who's leading the trip then if they're giving you're going to put the king right in front of the 8? So they're going 1 they're going 1-2. But you said the queen's not good at doing that. You said the queen's okay.
The queen is adequate at running the trip, but not at providing feedback.
Yeah, but you don't want a queen out front. At high water, you don't want a queen out front, do you?
A queen's solid. A queen's a good boater, and
we don't know actually. Remember we said they could be for that river they're solid.
So my point about how this works is like a queen is a good boater for the river. A king can make somebody better, and an ace can make somebody a lot better.
Yeah, but see, you're taking your best boater and not having them out front. That makes no sense.
And not having what?
Them out front.
So you always put your best boater out front no matter what.
Not all. I don't want to say always, but usually.
So wait, Aaron. So
high water.
Hold on. So you cancel this trip?
Yeah, cancel it.
Yep. That's your answer for everything nowadays. Just cancel it.
I mean,
you don't want to how do you get better if you never go?
No, but I think people need to think more about canceling trips. I think people get themselves into.
Oh, we understand that because your answer is always let's cancel it.
Yeah, no, and so I think I just want that. Like we're talking about the middle fork, the 6-foot middle fork with that group of people, and you're just like, I cancel. You can always go another day. I wouldn't push that. And we talked about building skills. Build your skills first on easier. We talked about like the Jackson Hole method of rafting. Stay on the greens until you can hockey stop and do 360s and everything, and then go up higher.
But I think that how do you just can't practice high water middle fork?
No, you can't.
Practice that. And you can't. And practicing, you're not practicing your own skills as much. It's all about entering, leaving eddies as a team, teamwork. How do you practice teamwork?
You practice by going on trips together and going down to the river state. You could practice that on the middle fork of what were we talking about earlier? The middle fork of the Payette. You could practice exiting eddies right after each other, pulling in, how to pull in. You could definitely practice that there. You can practice that on class 2. You don't need hard water to practice exiting eddy and entering an eddy. and maintaining boat space.
Can you learn it on my online rowing school for the cost?
I don't know.
$400?
I since it costs $400, I haven't had an opportunity to see it, and I'm not.
Aaron, the answer to that is yes. The answer to that is yes.
$400 sounds like a lot, so it must be good, Zach.
Well, we're almost done with this.
Zach, I'm gonna say if it was a $600 course, then I think you could learn it on there.
Okay. It's not expensive enough to be quality. Hey, before we close down the show, I think we should have a section where we talk about how great NRS is, because we want them to sponsor the show. We really want to celebrate NRS. So, Dougie, I know you have some NRS stuff. Do you want to celebrate some piece of NRS gear that you love?
What is this brown nose, the NRS brown nose section?
Hey,
I had a lot of
we got to keep the money flowing around here.
NRS gear over the years.
Uh-huh.
I think the elbow pads I just got are made for NRS. I can't remember by who, but they're like, I think NRS is the only one who sells them. They're great.
Kayaking elbow pads?
I just started wearing kayaking elbow pads. I'm trying to get better at it, do more often. And I'm trying to wear earplugs more often too.
The earplugs, yeah, I mean, my ears are, yeah.
Have you had them looked at, Aaron?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't had mine looked at yet.
They look and they're like, oh, the regular doctors don't know what to do about it. That's the problem.
Right.
Like, I've had regular doctors like, oh, there's something with you. I'm like, yeah, it's a cold water growth. They're like, what? And you're like, yeah, whatever, man. So I did have someone look at one point and they said, it's not bad enough, but so I always wear earplugs now. And but the water gets stuck in them. It doesn't come out very easily. It's really frustrating.
I just got some without, I have the ones for kayaking with the string on them. And then I got some without the string for lap swimming.
I'll show you my high end one. Hold on, I'm gonna go grab my really cool.
Aaron, don't leave the laptop. This is weird.
But I just got some for lap swimming.
What's up?
Do you, Aaron, have you had swimmers wearing for lap swimming?
I wear them lap swimming. Okay. Yeah, I'm not people with both, but so there's this company called 3M. You see them, 3M?
Yeah.
And they make these.
I see where you're going with this.
No, this is what I use. I use these.
Where's my packaging?
And so
hold on, we're in the NRS corner right now. You can't be selling 3M stuff when we're doing the NRS.
So NRS corner, I want to sell the 3M product, but I like these ones because, well, the ones are nice when they're on this permanently, and then I can wrap around like my kayak helmet and then put them in and pull them out. Yeah. But then these ones I like because I just use them for swimming now too. I just put them in my ears like this when I go swim with my daughter. Actually, we just go play in the pool. I put them in so like I'm not like full of water for the next month, but. They're super cheap. You can't hear anything, but I mean, when you're in a huge rapid, you can't hear anything anyway. So, it's actually less scary. I like it. Like when the river's quieter, I'm less scared.
We talked about this previously, but I like the docks one because they have this. My ones for lap swimming don't have the hole in them, but the ones for river do have the hole in the middle. Yeah. And I find I can hear fine, actually.
I bet you can hear a lot better, but I don't want to hear it. It's scary. It's all loud and scary. So it makes it quiet. Makes me feel like I'm in a video game.
Can we get back to NRS? Selling NRS stuff?
Okay.
Well, maybe NRS will start selling these too.
The sponsorship isn't going to make itself happen. Dougie, we need you to pump some NRS stuff today.
Zach, I'm going for 3M. They got more money.
I just pulled out. I'm going to go sea kayaking next week, hopefully with my dad. And I just pulled out my old Hydra skin, which is an amazing layer for a little bit extra warmth once in a while. So
there you go. Back on track.
I'm going to say
make it.
I'm going to say NRS. The one thing I'm impressed with is NRS moved to Gore-Tex on their dry suits. I haven't heard of anyone's use of them yet, but I think that's a really great move because their old dry suits were well designed, but the material was always a struggle. And like people I knew them, they had a lot of problems with them leaking. So I'm really excited to see them make that move.
I just picked up my friend's Kokata dry suit from Immersion Research. He was getting it repaired, and it's a lot more bulky than my NRS one. Like my NRS one, I can roll up. It's a lot lighter, and that one was a lot more bulky and heavier. Like just for.
Is it an older Kokata or is it a new one?
His, I would say, is probably fairly new.
Like, yeah. So is it lighter? The material you're saying Doug, are you saying the NRS material isn't as high quality? It's like a thinner material. It's not as thick in.
Yeah. What is it? But also, I would say that it's been fine. I mean, I've had it for 3 or 4 years, and it's been fine for me. Like, it hasn't leaked. Right. The NRS one. I mean, I like the NRS. I'm saying I like the lighter weight of it, just in terms of.
Wait, you have an NRS Gore-Tex one, or you have the old style NRS ones?
The old style.
I don't think you use yours hard because everyone else I know always complains about them leaking. So I don't know how that works.
Aaron, you can't say that in the NRS corner. We have to only say good things about
the old ones. No, I'm saying the old ones. The old
This
ones
one is probably. I mean, I did read.
Aaron, Dougie actually likes his NRS dry suit. I know for a fact. He's used it for more than a year, and it doesn't leak.
Yeah.
I had one NRS one, and I warranted it because it did start leaking after about a year and a half. And they gave me this new one, and it's been lasting great.
Oh, really?
4 years.
Because I had a friend who sent back like 4 or 5, and finally they're like, "Hey, man, we're just gonna refund your money," because they kept leaking on him. He's like, "Dude, it leaks again." He's like,
Aaron, I still wear shorts when I boat. Maybe that's part of it. I mean, I'm pretty good with gear. I take carry gear.
You both
you still wear shorts.
You wear shorts to protect his dry suit.
Yeah.
But that's not good. That's added extra drag.
And if your shorts get pulled down around your ankles, you can't swim.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, but take care of your gear before you're in safety. That's a good idea. That's
gear first.
My shorts are tight.
As long as they're tight.
And I don't.
They still create some extra drag. Yeah. Do your Gore-Tex ones have like the thicker Cordura material on the butt?
I don't have Gore-Tex one. I was picking this up for a friend. Probably has Cordura.
I'm gonna test out an NRS Gore-Tex suit next week. So I'll let you guys know. I'll report.
But the problem is like 1 week is not enough. Like the old school ones, you use it for a week, they'd be fine, and then it was Aaron,
we're gonna do this NRS corner every show until NRS sponsors us. So we'll say how great this stuff is.
I don't. It's gonna be interesting if they'll ever sponsor us as long as I'm on this show. You might have to kick me off to get the sponsorship.
All right. Well, look at these. We have comments coming from our audience.
Agree. NRS frame makes some really great frames. Yep.
I would say that Longhorn in particular because it's simple. The other ones are a bit heavy compared to like a regular wrap frame because there's so many parts and things, but they're good. They're nice.
You mean the multi-sectional?
The NRS Guide Height Float, Aaron, I'm really close to buying one.
Well, that's the one I've been recommending. Like, I know that's the one on my site. I say is like
one of our guides bought one for the high water middle fork we just did, and he was pretty stoked on it, and it didn't look as dorky as I thought it would look.
It's fine. Yeah, it works fine. I mean, I would like to see more than 22 pounds of flotation. Would like to see 26 NRS. Then I would be like gold stars. But
22 is more. I mean, that's a lot. It's still more than most people have, and it has like fleece paw. I don't know. I've been kind of like not wanting to wear it, but I think I might get one here pretty soon.
Yeah, the little pockets are silly on it. Honestly, like you never use them. They just catch your oars. I think those pockets are silly. Like they're not
oar pockets.
Yeah, no, because if you have stuff in them, you can't really get your hands in them. If you have that life jacket tight, it's hard to get your hands in them, and they just allow you to catch your oars on them. I just wish they'd get rid of those. That's my feelings. Like that's a waste of material, time, and money. You're having to charge more for this. I don't.
How about this in NRS Corner? Every week I try to say great things about NRS.
Okay, and here's the other thing.
You give them feedback how to make their products better, then they'll definitely sponsor us.
Yeah, but here's the other thing.
My job
if your hands are cold, put them here up against your body. It's going to be underneath your life jacket. It's way warmer than putting them in pockets that are insulated away from your body. That's the other thing. It's silly. Great, they're insulated. Please keep your hands on. No, put your hands here up against your body. Your body is producing heat. Your
body's here too.
Yeah, but you've got an inch. You've got an inch of material between an inch of insulation.
It's more about just It's more about just like when people put their hands in their pockets when hanging out. It's sort of like that. It's a place to put your hands.
Yeah,
it's not about warming them up. It's more of just like whatever. It's ridiculous. We gotta end the show before I lose my mind.
Agree. Yes, Mark Rivers, totally agree. A little more wrap around a little more with the flotation.
That makes sense. I do that. I'd be into that. I bought a Longhorn recommendation being sketched out, trying to run my multi-day event. Is a good purchase. Nice, sweet. Yep. See, NRS, you should be sponsored. I should get Aaron. We should try to get them to pay us $10 a week.
I mean, that's not that much. That's very reasonable.
Yeah,
but then Zach, then we lose our credibility because then they're not going to believe what we like and don't like better than NRS because we're paid off.
No, but we'll say we're sponsored.
We've sold out.
No, we'll tell the truth still, right? Like we won't bring up some of the NRS product, like the NRS wrap kit. We wouldn't bring that up. We would just skim over it, right?
Are we gonna change the name of the show to like Zach and the NRS Wrapping Show by NRS Zach and NRS Aaron?
Yeah, no, it's still the Aaron and Zach's Not Even Entitled show, sponsored by NRS, so people know that we are paid to say these things. And so, but also we won't talk about the bad products. Like we'll just skim over those. We'll just pick like 10 products that are good and just keep talking about those.
Product is really good? Those dangly flip lines they have on the side. Those are actually well-made products.
Oh, dude, you're baiting me. You're baiting me.
I think they're actually well made, and that one person made a really good point that they were able to flip their boat backward really fast with those on there. I thought that was interesting. Like I learned a lot. I didn't think about it. I have a lot more.
Are you going to put them on your boat?
No, because I have a system that works for me. But I respect other people who choose those.
Those things are a scam. The one person, I think he was right. It helped him, but
did he have video of him doing it and he did it really fast with it or something like that? Yeah.
Oh, I hate those things so much. I just hate them. So let's not talk about those in the NRS corner. Let's just talk about the stuff that's good. I'll make a list of things I'm going to give you. Like when we're sponsored, you can't bring the flip dangles up. So when we're sponsored,
no, but I like the flip dangles.
You're being unauthentic.
They might let you bring those up even when you're sponsored. I'm
going to give you a list of things we can't bring up because I'll get really mad and say bad things so that we can keep our sponsorship.
So why did Mark Rivers say I'm correct? What do you think he said I was correct about? Which part? But thank you, Mark Rivers. The wraparound, we're in agreement. More padding, a little more flotation. Yeah. No, the thing I will say, the thing I really like about those NRS life jackets is they're extremely adjustable in the shoulder, so you can get it sitting way down low. People with big bellies can get it over their bellies, and they're not up here. And like the length of the straps on the shoulders is amazing. And I think that's what makes them incredible. They fit anyone. Like I said, the little zipper pockets are actually nice too. You can put stuff in. It's pretty streamlined. It's good for swimming in. It's a well-crafted life jacket. It's the best high flow life jacket on the market. This is how you. But they can make it better. It's the best.
You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. We are like probably 18 months away from the sponsorship. We're like on our way there. 18 months away from our $10 a week sponsorship.
If we wait 18 months, it's got by that point with inflation, we need to be getting 20.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we're not. That's not worth it.
Mark, I ran the flip lines. Oh my god, I'm so offended by flip lines, Mark. I don't even have to think. I'm really honestly.
See, Mark runs the danglers too.
That's what I'm saying. I'm offended. I don't know. I just really don't like them, and it's a personal choice. So I should stop being so.
No, but I think Zach, you have points, and I think there's good points about why I think there's better options out there for most people, but it's definitely better than not having a flip line on you and not having a flip line on your right.
I don't understand because the passenger is not trained to flip a boat back over. So like, do you really want them flipping the boat back over?
No, but you get two people up there. And like depending on the boat,
then give him a strap.
If you're both holding,
then give him a strap for his PFD. It's the thing is like, if he's going to help, then give him that strap. Don't get the flip dingles. The flip dingles are just glorified trash. Like, the worst.
Well, each week we can bring up some of our favorite NRS products. So, I'm going to bring up their river booties next week.
The flip dingles are just trash. So they're not on my boat if I'm solo boating. Well, not solo boating, no, with friends. So if you're R2ing, you put them on your boat?
No.
It seems like I'm just offended.
I think he's talking about his rowing.
Mark, how can I get you to stop doing this?
Sometimes you need to get free shipping.
I need to stop. Mark, I need to stop you from doing this. This is the scam. This is why it really bothers me that NRS sells these things, because what they do is they sell you a boat and a package and a bunch of garbage that you don't need. Like their wrap kits are garbage. And so, but you add it on and they convince you if you spend a little more money, you can save a little bit of money. It's a scam. I better stop talking because we're gonna lose our sponsorship.
We haven't got it anyways. You know what?
That's my point.
But I think the point is NRS is an amazing resource to the community. Yeah. And where would we be without it?
Yeah.
Honestly, we all I use a lot of their products. I think we all use a lot of products. We've used them with commercial offers we work with.
Those are boats.
And their products are solid. Those are NRS boats, right?
NRS boats there. Thank you, NRS.
No, and I've used some NRS boats. I like them. I think the stuff is priced competitively, which is good. It makes it easier for people getting in the market. And most of the gear they have there is good, solid gear. And let's be honest, we've been talking about high flow PFDs for a long time. They're the only ones who make one.
Yeah,
no one else
they
makes
really
them.
are.
And it's it frustrates me because I think it could be better, but it's like it's hard to get two on them when no one else is doing it, you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, think about what the industry would be like, or think about trying to go boating without NRS, because they probably invented a lot of categories too. Like before them, there may not have even been things. History is amazing, you know, of like what they've done to boating to give us equipment. They may and they probably push other companies to make different, better stuff. But without them, we'd be making our own PFDs or who knows what.
And I think like you look at the wetsuits
down here in a second.
Yeah, the NRS wetsuits they made, like I think they made some nice adjustments to them. Fully loaded. Yep, exactly.
Well, hold on, Mark. Yeah.
I think he's making a fat joke about you, Zach. I think you should take that personally.
Hey, do you see this? Why do every time we do the show, there's a fat joke about me? Every time, Dougie. It's not very nice. You know, I'm a person who's weight challenged, not a fat person. You guys are not very woke.
Yeah.
Fully loaded. Hold on, Mark. Let's go back to this. It's not a fully loaded gear boat. You said you had room to spare earlier.
No, he's saying when he has a fully loaded gear boat. He's not talking just on the Grand Canyon. Did he say the Grand Canyon trip in particular? He might have brought him on there, but he didn't say that.
But my point is one of two things. One, you give them the real flip line. To just give them one then. So then they have one. You both have them. Or you just take somebody else from a different boat comes up to you and somebody jumps on and you flip it over to somebody else who's qualified and practiced. Mark, this is getting me fired up. I love you and respect you.
But Mark also says he wasn't making a joke. Oh wait, we need to talk about this. The extra sports were 26 pounds of flotation. The ones with the big old tubes going over the shoulders and the second, those were 26 pounds of flotation vests. In general, I think the extra smalls might have been less, like 22 or 24, but the large ones and maybe even the mediums were 26 pounds, I believe.
I just bought the old. I don't know what they did. I think the River. I mean, their customer jacket is a copy of the old Extra Sport customer jacket, which is a different thing. And the Extra Sport we have them here. We still use the old Extra Sport one. They're great. Just not making them. Yeah. So NRS basically like took that and put their name on it in some different fabric. They also the NRS one that was 58 inches versus 56. So a slightly larger person can fit in an NRS, which is a really smart thing that they did. Or the biggest chest size for the Extra Sport is 56. No fat jokes.
Have you seen those big people though? When they get in those Extra Sports, they go deep. With just 20 pounds, they go deep.
They better than them in like an Astro YTV.
They need more. We need more flotation on those.
Better than 15. I have people I've seen on the river who are wearing like an Astro Green jacket, and I'm like, dude, that you're not gonna. This isn't gonna go well for you. I know it's technically a life jacket or PFD or whatever. I know it technically is sold as that. Mark doesn't joke about heels. Yeah. Well,
yeah. So he wasn't making a joke about your weight. No, I wasn't. I thought Mark might be making a comment because, you know, you always bring up your weight on the show, Zach. I don't know why you always talk about it. You seem to want to talk about it. So, like even when I watch your videos.
No, it's just like
even when I'm not involved. I was watching some life jacket video here. You're talking about you being a big guy and this and that. And you're talking.
I'm a big guy, but you always. I'm a big guy. But big guy doesn't mean fat, Aaron. Let's finish this up. You're frustrating me. Well, Mark, I hear what you're saying. I'm with you. I know what you're doing. I just really don't like those flipped angles, and so one of my things is to get people to stop using them.
But Mark, I do have a question: is why couldn't you guys just share your flip line?
Yeah,
that's one thing I'm interested to hear. Is why you couldn't share.
Well, it's a 14.6.
You didn't want your buddy falling on you. I can understand that. That might be a reason. I'm curious why you.
You mean like make a loop? You mean make a loop?
No, you just clip it on the middle. Both of you grab on it one side on one side of it, and the other side, and you just pull it back over.
But it's way better when there's two. Like when you pull one, it kind of V's a little bit. If there's one on two D rings, and it's a big boat, it goes over way better than two people on one.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious. But you can still with two people on one, you can get most boats over. Depending on big.
So he doesn't trust his buddy to carry his own gear. Got it. Okay. All right. Well, I think, Mark, you found a hole in my theory. And I think you've convinced me that these flipped angles are amazing and that you should go to nrs.com right now and buy some. Thank you, NRS, for making great flipped angles.
Yeah. I mean, Mark, yeah, I got you. That's what I was curious what your thought process on that. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah.
Respect the dangles. Yeah. No.
Totally.
Dangles.
Dangles.
Wait, isn't Rick the one who uses the flip dangles?
Yes. Yeah, that's
Rick's
Rick,
the one that flipped his boat with the uses them actually.
Zach, I'm tempted to spend the money to send a bunch to your guides and send them out on a trip, and then you get some photos coming back from your trip with all the boats having flip dangles.
You're too cheap for that. I'll tell you. No commercial company in the world runs flip dangles.
Maybe NRS would sponsor NWR with flip dangles for their rogue operation and just send you a bunch so you can put them on all your boats.
They would go right to the trash. We'd open it up and we'd just move, right, Dougie? Right to the trash. Environmentally friendly. Make clotheslines. Yeah, I'll bring it to you. And also flip on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's called a piece of rope. It's called a piece of rope. You can get that at the hardware store.
But they sell everything else. They might as well just have it. But the nice ones that you're using now.
Yeah, but do you think they'll figure out how to do a good one? Why don't we just buy if you're good? It literally a flip line is either a nice a piece of webbing you size and you put a carabiner on. It's hard to sell that, or literally it's a piece of rope. You can just go buy a piece of rope and put it in your pity because if you can tie a knot, just tie a bowline really quick and pull on it. If you want a carabiner, put a carabiner on it, whatever. But a flip line is literally a piece of rope. Do you think NRS is going to sell a piece?
Yeah, they sell a lot of other things like that. I mean, the dangle lines, the danglies are kind of the same thing.
They had that one throw bag, the hip belt pack throw bag that had the flip line that folded up in and you stuff it in there.
Wasn't that was who made that?
Well, NRS made one version.
Did they make Salamander makes it, right? Yeah.
But NRS made one too.
Yeah.
What did they?
Use the dangles. Mark,
Rowing school. Yeah.
I will sell the company.
Mark. Good idea, Mark.
Before I put dangles on rowing schools. Do you think I'm going to teach people to do that stuff? That's nonsense. Mark, why don't we just get you on the show?
Blue water swing.
I heard is there a button we can press to just add Mark as another person? Wait, I heard there's. Oh, here we go. Watch this. I might just see if we can add Mark. I can put him in a timeout. I heard there's a way we can add third parties, but I'll figure it out later. But one of my options is put user in timeout. Be careful, Mark. Be careful what you say. I'll put you in timeout. Can I put Aaron in timeout? You charge more for that piece of rope that's called a flip line. The blue water thing is great. Why can't they sell? Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's profit margin. I don't think NRS isn't always selling things that are the best. They're selling things that make them profit. So I think that they just can't get, can't get profit margin. I don't know who I'm talking about. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe they can. But
all right.
Yeah. But the company can sell it. Should we go? Doug, do you have anything to add before? We kind of been talking over you. Do you have anything to add before we shut the show
down?
No,
I've been listening. It's been good.
Doug is very patient with us. So, yeah, Doug, thanks for.
I'd like to practice with my flip line. It'd be good to practice. Yeah.
Hey, you should sign up for a rowing school, Doug.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the last time, Doug, you went rowing with me?
You fell out of the raft, Zach?
Yes.
You didn't hold on and you fell out of the raft. You weren't even paddling, I believe.
His oar management needed some work. Let's just put it that way.
Doug's oar management because you fell out of the raft?
No.
Zach, I don't understand how you can blame Doug for you falling out of the raft. You have two hands free.
Oar management doesn't suck because I fell out of a raft. I fell out of a raft because oar management sucks. What was that?
Okay.
All right, we got to go. You guys have stuff to do. People are probably tired of us talking. Oh, cool. Yeah, our fifth rowing school in a row launched this morning. I'm going to brag a little bit, and they are going insanely well. We're very proud of them. As you guys
on the road.
On the road. Yep, our fifth one. The fifth one in a row launched this morning. Ace is on it. Peter Fox is on it. Steve Welch is on it. Some of our other guides. It's a really nice crew. All right, Dougie, I'm going to give you the final word and shut this thing down.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Check it out Friday. Are you going to do another one Friday, Zach?
Not Friday. No show this Friday, but we'll do another one of these Q&As Tuesday if there's questions to answer. If not, we won't do it.
Nice.
And then next Friday we'll come back. And the topic of next Friday is going to be science. Just put in a calendar fresh. 2:00 a week from this Friday. Sweet. We're going to use science to debunk common commonly accepted
Oh man, this would be so
facts.
fun.
I've been
Well,
writing them down as I think about them. I'm like, people, like, let me just give you one and I'll go. I know this is taking forever. Do you need to rotate your Dutch oven?
Well,
Like when you make a Dutch oven, do you physically pick it up and rotate it every 10 minutes?
Are you talking about when you spin
I understand
the lid? Are you talking about you spin the lid a little bit, or are you talking about you rotate the bottoms?
Either. Do you need to spin your Dutch oven?
How windy is it? Where is it located?
Oh, that's a good question.
We'll talk about it next week. Thanks, Howder. We appreciate your support. Love having you here. Yeah, Howder's cool. All right. Aaron, are you gonna do the shutdown for us, Aaron?
What's this? Thanks for watching the Tuesday question and answer show with Zach and